I grew up on my grandmother's farm, my grandmother and my grandfather, two of the most influential people in my life. Quick story, when I was younger, I still remember this. I think I was only 2 years old. And my mom, who was a young mom, she was only 17. I'm sitting in my high chair and I'm watching all of this different stupid stuff going on at the house. For example, young people drinking, young people smoking. And smoke, I'm allergic to cigarette smoke, by the way. And as a baby, 2 years old, and you're coughing, and people aren't necessarily paying attention to you. You remember rotary phones? You know, the ones in which you put your finger in and then you... That's the kind of phone that I grew up with. And it was a red one. We had a red rotary phone. And I called my grandparents at 2 years old. And my grandmother answered. I said, "Granny, come get me." And she was on the other end, and my grandfather was there too. Like, "What?" I said, "Granny, come get me." And you know what? They at the time they lived. I think the distance was only about 6 or 7 miles. But my grandmother and my grandfather showed up probably like 30 minutes to an hour later. And I was still in my high chair, and I saw them pull up right in the front. They had this, the car was also red. Do you remember, like, they were really strong cars. Like, it was a completely metal vehicle. They had the little circular lights in the front. I want to say it was an El Camino, but I don't know if it was, but it was pretty darn close from what I remember from the front of the car. And my grandmother gets out the car, she comes in, and I'm like in the high chair, and I'm kicking my legs, and I'm happy, and my grandmother's coming upstairs to get me. And my mom was like, "What are you doing here?" Because she didn't know that I called Granny. And Granny, like, your son called me and told me that he wanted us to come get him. And I spent a lot of time hanging out with my grandparents when I was growing up. I know the story was supposed to be about growing up on the farm, but that was just one of those really cool, fun memories that I had. But on the farm, that's probably one of the reasons why I called him. My grandmother had this goat. She had chickens. She had cabbage. I think I helped pick sometime. Didn't really have corn, but she did also have wild grapes that were growing on this vine, and we would go out and pick them and we would eat them. Like, no pesticides, so I didn't have to worry about that. We also, in the back of the farm, though, she had this area where we would do away with old tires. Something I didn't know that was an environmental hazard. We used to burn the tires. I do remember this, like when we burn them and it like this big, huge plume of black smoke that would be going all over the neighborhood. I do remember that, but it's one of those memories that as a kid, you don't know no better. This is really great and this is really cool. So my farm life, and it helped me, it helped shape me. I mean, it helped me with the work ethic that I would develop. My grandma was the first entrepreneur that I knew. She used to sell candy to the local kids and the parents when they would come over to the trailer.